Okay, here's the question. I've been told that Jesus never said anything about homosexuality, so we should stop calling it a sin. Is that true? Well, the short answer is maybe and no. Maybe, in that perhaps in his earthly ministry, he never did say anything about homosexuality. That's questionable, it's debatable, but maybe that's true. But no, it is not true that if he did not name a specific sin in his earthly ministry, then it must not be a sin. Now, let's unpack this. In the four Gospels, we see a description of the teachings and the actions and the earthly ministry of Jesus. In those four gospel accounts, in all the teaching we have recorded, we do not read anything about him mentioning homosexuality by name. Now, he did mention some sexual sins, adultery, fornication, lust, he certainly mentioned. You can see that for yourself. But no, at least according to the account we have from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, we do not see him mentioning homosexuality during his earthly ministry. Does that settle the question? No. No, not at all, for three reasons. Number one, the Gospels are not exhaustive. That is to say, none of the Gospel writers even pretended to be recording everything Jesus ever said or did. Not at all. There are whole periods of his life, his earthly life that is, that we have no record of. And of all the things that he did say and did do, why no, the Gospels don't even pretend they could contain that. In fact, one of the Gospel writers, John himself, said, John 21:25, there are many other things Jesus said and did. The world itself could not contain all the books that could be written about those things. That is to say, no exhaustive record could be made of everything Jesus said or did, and the Gospels don't pretend to be that. So, bottom line, I cannot say with integrity, I know Jesus condemned homosexuality when he was in earthly form, because I don't know that. The pro-gay apologist cannot say with integrity, I know he did not address it, because he doesn't know that either. We simply don't know. Now, does that settle the question? No, not even close. Why? Because point two, a number of sins are not mentioned in the Gospels, yet they are clearly sins. Now, just for example, Jesus never made mention of bestiality. Jesus never made direct mention of incest. Is anybody going to actually say that those behaviors are legitimized just because we don't have a record of Jesus clearly condemning them? No, of course not. Why? Because the entire witness of Scripture testifies against those behaviors. We don't take the Gospels and say that they alone contain all the teaching we need. Far from it. All of Scripture is equally inspired. The Gospels simply cover an account of the earthly life and ministry of Jesus Christ. Which leads to a third point. During his earthly ministry, he said something more important than a condemnation of homosexuality or adultery or fornication or lust. He gave a standard. That is what our Creator intended the human sexual union to be. When he said in Matthew 19:4-6, know ye not that he who created them, humanity, created them male and female? For this cause a man will leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. The two will become one flesh. What God has joined together, let no man set asunder. Now, what did he just say? Well, he just said something that would have gotten him kicked off Facebook, but what he did say was our Maker intended the human sexual union to be monogamous, the two will become one flesh, cleave together. Independent, a man will leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. Permanent, what God joined together, let no man set asunder. And heterosexual, male, female, when he said, know ye not he who created them male and female, a man will cleave to his wife. He clearly stated that the heterosexual union is the standard, and thereby anything falling short of the standard constitutes sin. Now, that's the definition of sin, isn't it? Falling short of the mark. The homosexual person doesn't fall any more short than the heterosexual person who sexually sins. Nobody gets to throw the first stone on this issue. But when we fall short of God's standard, we don't have the luxury of rewriting that standard. We have the mandate to conform to that standard. Now, if you want to pursue this more, I did write a book on pro-gay theology called The Gay Gospel, How Pro-Gay Advocates Misread the Bible. That's through Harvest House Publishing. You can find the link to it on the content description of this page. Also, I wrote an article for Focus on the Family called Revisionist Gay Theology. And in that article, I pursue this question even further about what Jesus did or did not say. You can also find that on the content description. Now, if you'd like to talk to me personally about this and set an appointment, just go to joedallas.com, go to Counseling Services. That'll show you how to contact me. Also, if you'd like to support this ministry with your gifts so we can go on providing free content, like just go to joedallas.com/giving. That'll show you how you can partner with us. Well, I'm Joe, and this is the short answer. I hope it's been helpful to you. God bless.